All right, what up, people? Let's do it. Darktide. So, still waiting on that patch for Need for Speed Unbound. There was something else coming out soon that I was looking forward to. Oh, yeah. I didn't check when it comes out, but I'm looking forward to Space Marine. It's going to be sick. I'm going to stream the shit out of that. Anyway, 50 missions. Alright, so I'm going to hit up a mission, I think, as... let's come check the store first. Hit up a mission, I think, as... every character. I think I'm just going to go down the line. I'll save Zealot for last. Let him make self damage resistance. No, I ain't got I got experience equipped. Do I? What do I equip? Yeah, experience rules, son. You want it? So let's go. Let's go. Let's just do this difficulty. Whatever. We'll go up for although level 15 we should be able to do that difficulty, the next difficulty up. I mean, you can do any difficulty really at any level, if you feel like you're capable enough, I suppose.
The primary smelters offline and production's crawled to a stop. Knowing our enemies, a demonic infestation seems likely. Cleanse and purge. We need those production lines back in action. Don't let Rannick down.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
I'm not sure I know.
Oh, look, you're going down an elevator. Nice. Hey. Proceed to the smelter complex.
What I was looking for, but it's a start.
Man, I tried one of these last guns out. I'll tell you what, I love them. I took far too long to get one. They're great.
I mislike this.
I reckon she wants to put a machine in my brain, and I'm not having that.
What do you think you're doing here, huh? I need you to walk across this line right here, and then touch your nose of each hand, then say the alphabet backwards.
Ammunition! In the very nick of
Can we
time!
find this carking smelter? I want out of here. Something! Damn it!
Damn fire, soldier!
Really?
Woo.
Got it!
One dead. It's a start.
Mid-station! Heal up!
Good progress. Keep moving through the superstructure.
Medicaid station!
Grenade out! That's a clean kill!
Right, don't mind me, just arguing with everything. Surprised you guys are still hanging around. Don't know what's going on here, but let's get a move on. We had a stream earlier. My came across a game. I joined a game, and it left 2 bots in, so we ended up with a 6-man team. It was pretty cool.
Fear is a weapon of the enemy.
Well, let's not give him the satisfaction.
Man, I tell you what, weapons definitely make the class nice. Because now I got this thing. This class has been transformed from something I couldn't stand playing to just a lot better. There's no way of putting it.
Get through the assembly line and you're almost there.
Also, it's just satisfying to use, just the way it looks, the lights and noises it makes. Pretty legit, I'm not gonna lie.
The bomber is
Woo.
I wonder who he is. Or she. Or whatever.
I need to use my
Grendel
sword
is
more.
the beneficent empress
What I need is I
first
need a
hand.
better weapon.
Ask no more questions.
Don't matter really. Chain of command still applies, even around here.
You all need to be together. Group up.
I feel another headshot coming up.
Reloading! Boomer!
Alright, let's go. Flee to the inner walls. Russ, there is no hope. This is our last chance to give Frodo time. Now that's a game I wouldn't mind playing again. Return of the King game. So good. So good. You know, the parry is pretty useful once you start to get good at using it. It definitely, it reminds me of Dark Souls in the sense that the timing seems to be somewhat intuitive.
Founded courage of you heretic.
It's really good though. Honestly, it's really good if you can get the hang of it. Yes, please. Ooh, oh look at that! I think I got full ammo now.
Have mercy on your dying servant!
No path back up. Healing here, fanatic.
Does someone have a... No, it's just a bit of corruption. Alright, well, give me some of that. Give me
That might have
one
saved
of
her life.
these.
Instead, it
I
healed
think I'm good.
Oh, look who's
This place
talking.
is meant to be
I've
alive.
seen how you.
Alright, we reckon over here. I reckon over there. Yeah. Ooh.
The abomination is in return to hell!
One deck is the start. Throne, you've got more demonic growth.
Gun that bastard down.
Wrong button. I always do that when I go to hit grenade. It's the only thing I like about this game is they've added all these extra buttons Oh, I know what I need to. There's no healing items, so I should rebind grenade, which I'm going to do in a second. Oh, and where's the... God, it takes so long to give you... In the beta, I feel like it gave you those way faster. Like, you just move bang on to the next one, which I wish was the fucking case. I feel like there's an obnoxious amount of time between it. It's just enough to annoy you. But not enough to feel like resetting is worthwhile. Just kind of stand around with your thumb up your ass waiting for it to leave the next one. You guys be right, I'll just run over here and do this. Or I should change... No, I'll keep... Definitely should keep the special where it is. Just change grenade. Let's slow this bad boy down. This thing's so good. At least on this difficulty anyway. It'd be like one of those things where it's like as soon as you hit the next difficulty, its usefulness just wears down.
Credit to your regiment, veteran!
You can always rely on the guard, priest. Got a present for you. I've got you now.
Reloading! Cover me!
Ooh, let's go.
This was a good day. Let's get you back.
Heat's building up! Let's get out of this hellhole! Ah. Here she goes!
Sweet. That was a quick one. I suppose I joined sort of, not halfway through, but definitely into it. I see. I see. Ah, loading. Wonderful. And we're going to have to load more because I'm going to change operative. Sorry, I was just reading, got distracted reading something. Where are we? What are we doing here? I will go and check. I don't think the thing will have reset. Alright.
Yes. Can I be of service?
Melee weapons. What I would like is a half decent force sword. Sorry, not force sword, power sword. What do I call a force sword? I said they are sort of force swords. It's just another name for it. A chain axe could be cool. I haven't used one yet. High damage. It says high damage. Doesn't look like high damage to me. That looks like much more damage to me, honestly. Maybe it's a rev attack is super high damage. Alright, So change operative. Now we're gonna do Ogre and play Odyssey Ogre, and then we'll do Psyker, and then we'll go Zealot, and we'll up the diff for the Psyker and the Zealot. Oh, yeah, all the loading. Is there a lobby shortcut yet, or do you have to run all the way to the goddamn mission terminal? If I just press every button, do any of them do anything? Oh, yeah, let's also do this. I dropped my graphic settings in an attempt to handle the sudden immediate drop whenever anything comes on screen, because this has the same problems as the previous games. There's just too much going on. Blitz action. Yeah, so yeah, there we go. Sweet. Anyway, it's frustrating because it's like I feel like it's 100% just bad optimization from a driver perspective, and not even on darktide. Fat Shark have spent many years adding stability and performance and optimization patches. I 100% believe that it is, in my case, AMD just being shithouse. Like, they go so far between driver patches. It's the biggest thing I miss about using NVIDIA cards. Like, yeah, okay, I paid way less for a 6900 XT. Like, I got a really good deal on it because of the silicon shortage, then combining with like overpriced and over surplus. I don't think I got a good deal on it in the long term. The card, its original intended price point, but I got a decent deal on it given the price of other graphics cards. It was really good value for money, comparatively. The only good value for money, if there could be such a thing in that situation. And I really didn't pay that much for it in terms of graphics cards. But like, I get driver timeout crashes all the time for some reason. I don't know why. It's just never ending, and they're so far between patches, and it's like between updates. And like in NVIDIA, there was a driver update like every week. Something was being fixed or dealt with.
Oddly, Miss Sophie didn't fancy flying into the Logistratum Sky-Fi defenses. Logistratum access will be achieved via maintenance node Chiron 13. Proceed.
Anyway, I can't help but rant about AMD at the moment because I had a 6800 and it was just like everything was fine. I had hit the silicon lottery. It was like I was able to overclock it like crazy, had no problems, and then just like the driver support for the cards at the moment is garbage. It's horrible. It's like the AMD that we used to hear about post 7970. You know, that was the last time they were any good, really. It's really frustrating. It's like, you need to stop complaining you've got a better value for money, because in terms of support, like, if you have the card for a long period of time, suddenly it's becoming worthwhile to spend the extra money and get the NVIDIA card. Like, honestly, I mean, yeah, $2.5 grand for a 4080 is obnoxious and ridiculous, and $3.5 grand for a 4090 is offensive, right? They're both offensive prices, but if you were to say, by the way, it's Australian in case no one was wondering. If you were to tell me there was a difference of they were not that expensive, or just that there was a difference of, you know, $250 for the NVIDIA cards for each tier, I would at this point go with the NVIDIA cards purely because the driver support is so much better. It's just way better, and that's all it is. And people talk about how, like, I fill out a bug report every time I get a driver timeout, which is basically at least once a day, usually multiple times a day. And you know, I'm starting to wonder if my card's fucked, which maybe it is. I tried to clean Windows install, and that didn't seem to fucking help. And I tried to clean Windows 11 install, so I went from Windows 10 to Windows 11 to see if there was a Windows 11 issue I was having.
You're in the right place.
God damn, it takes so long to get the fucking... What the... And he put it away? Why'd he put it away? What the fuck was that about? Yeah, I hate the way you have to prime weapons in this when you change to them. It sucks so much. Like, I'm sick of having to get the... Every time I get it out, he's got to fucking do that little action there. It's like, rack off. It's got to... The fucking reload is already forever. Like, you're like just removing my ability to hot swap to a ranged weapon. It's like they didn't want you to play this game as a skill-based game anymore. Because, like, that was one of the best things of mastering in Vermintide. Was, like, going from, like, a multi-shot weapon as, like, to using, like, or being, like, an elf to instead being, like, a soldier with a handgun or a musket, and just like twitch shooting like specials, and then moving on with your day and going back to using your axe or whatever you had. Let's power through this as quickly as possible, shall we? I wonder if I should just not kill anything and just let them do all the work. I wonder how we'll go. Ugh. Man, that punch is so useful. Yeah, that's better. Being able to do that too. I always used to have thumb mouse mount to grenade. That's my standard grenade throw or equip button in games. And then the other thumb mouse button is throw. Is healing item in these games typically for me. Because then you just hit Q to go back to whatever your last item was. There'll be one more reach. Dude, I got the fire on everyone. Lame. Alright. Let's go down here. Leave him. Just leave him. Ugh. Let's go. My theory is if I run fast enough, they'll get the message and follow me. Now, what's more important is to just have a quick look for demon hosts. God, there's a delay on firing. Oh my god, it's so awesome, but so annoying at the same time that they've put that. There's a little bit of just like, oh, for fuck's sake. That better have been a dog. Oh, it was a trapper. Fair enough. I was about to say it better have been a dog or a trapper. Oh, good. You need healing. Yay. No, you don't. You'll be fine. You still got how many wounds? Worry about the number of wounds you got. You still got all 3 wounds. You're fine. Don't worry too much in this game. Do that. What happened there? What happened there? What was that about? Did anyone else see that? Just got fucking his arm. Just got caught on his own arm. Also, they must be new if they don't know that there's a Medicaid station right here. Idiots. Go get it. Go get your healing you don't need. My god. It's not high enough difficulty to worry about needing. Come on. Come on, guys. Every time they catch up, I'm going to push through faster. Guys, stop dicking around. We could have been finished this shit by now if you guys pushed. There's unfortunately no nice way to say hurry the fuck up. Nobody got time for this shit. Don't ask me why, but I need to complete these missions as quickly as possible. I have a need to. It's what makes the gameplay loop fun. Otherwise it's just repetitive, boring bullshit. Whoa. Man, the delay, like, I get that there's a charge speed, like, that's fine, but there's definitely the delay on some of the weapons gets me. It's going to be nice when they've done a bit more fine-tuning. I should also say I'm used to playing these games on my own, so that's kind of why I'm just not worrying about it. I'm just, like, used to playing randoms online you don't talk to, so that's just what you do. Someone just needs to push. That's how you do it. Ooh, a net boy. That's for you. Missing me. Did they all get down? Is that what happened there? You're not getting me, dude. I'll just, you know, one man this horde. Where is net boy? Oh, fucking out of ammo. Damn it. Of course I fucking ran out of ammo right there. That takes so long to reload. Alright, you guys done fucking learning to walk yet? I wish I had the... I definitely have noticed now that I wish they had the kill stats and shit at the end of the game. Because, like, there's a point I would like to prove, I think, with a lot of these people where it's like, look at how much work I'm doing. So why don't you get your shit together? That's not always the case. There's plenty of times when people are playing better than me, I would say. I think that's the only thing. I guess, is there a way to play with just bots? Because there's no... can I select a mission and go private? Like, that's the thing I'm currently missing, is just the straight up lobby browser. Like, I'm sick of the fucking matchmaking. It's a bad decision. Give me lobby browsers. Because, like, I don't want to have to fucking later on when nobody's playing this and I have to fucking wait for people. It's going to piss me off. Just give us lobby browsers. It worked in Vermintide 2 and it worked in Vermintide 1. I don't know why it can't work in this. Let me choose. Let me go. I want to do that mission and not that one. Yeah? That's what I want. Okay, time to reload.
That's this. Come on.
Reload.
This way.
Oh, it's this side, guys. Oh, no, that I want. Oh my god, there's fucking lag. Oh. That or I got. No, never mind. I got. I thought I had lag. I got full ammo. Take it back. 100% take it back. I was winning for no reason.
Rachel's gone quiet.
None of them in here? Wow, okay. Ah, they're all on this side. That's a first. Oh, you guys are gonna have to fight me in melee if you want to take me on. Okay, where is he? I really wish there weren't always enemies in there. There's definitely an element of like, oh, fuck off. Exploders and a rager. Oh my god. Okay. Is that all of them? No, there's two more. Okay, guys, come on, open them all first. Okay. Go like this.
Do you need ammo, Guardian? Point and shoot, militaris. Almost done.
Put it in. Put it in. You have to. It's not like Left 4 Dead or the old ones where you could just throw it. You have to, for some reason, they felt the need to make you actually interact with it. It'd be nice if you could just throw it into place, like in Left 4 Dead or like in Left 4 Dead or in the other Vermintide games. So there's lots of weird choices I see where I'm like, why did you change that? Why would you? Why not just streamline it and make it? Ooh, I want another cleaver. A nice, I reckon a nice. I do like the knives. That secondary attack is so nice, but I wonder if a nice mason shield would be good. I wonder if that's the only shield combo you can get, or if you can get something else with it. Come on, load. Oh, I gotta love those texture pops. I'll just have a quick look here.
I am
Yes.
a lodestone for blockheads
Okay.
today.
I'm not gonna worry about getting all of them. I don't see the point.
How may I assist?
Ripper gun. All right, on to the psychonetic. All right. My favorite thing about this game, load screens. Okay. Let's go. Why do we not just have a shortcut for all of this stuff? Why do I have to fucking run to these? It's so. It's such a dumb idea. The only thing I've got a shortcut for is inventory, as far as I can tell. So why the fuck would you not? Everybody praised you when you finally added that shit in.
Assistance is available.
Well, equipped. Yes, I do like the dueling swords, just in general, all of them. Why would you get rid of stuff that everybody has agreed is good, like that? Yeah, I mean, the force sword is cool. No, I'm gonna stick with this. Also, they patched the trauma staffs, which is good. They were terrible in the beta, or god awful. The force trauma staffs, the one that's like shoots up. It's like a fireball staff from the previous games. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff, quality of life stuff they put in, which I don't understand why they wouldn't keep from Vermintide 2. You know, why is the, like, I'm a huge Fat Shark fan. I got a lot of respect for them. When I found out they were making this game, I was super excited because I was like, Fat Shark will do a great job. It'll be a Vermintide style game and it'll be great. Or a Left 4 Dead style game, whatever you want to call it. But like crafting, why the fuck do I have to buy, like, some of these classes have been painful to play till like level 17, 18 when you actually start to get access to weapons, right? What I miss is in Vermintide you had all those crafting slots in the second one and sort of in the first one, and you got a weapon at the end of every mission or a chest, right? So you got constantly was getting stuff to potentially try, and you could just craft what you fucking wanted. Why force me to use fucking shit that and I can go so long before I find something else I want to use. Unless I'm supposed to log in every hour and check it. Like, what a load of horse shit. It's a dumb idea. And I wouldn't be complaining about quote unquote dumb idea if they hadn't had 2 games and however many years they've been around for to know that it's a dumb idea. Like, they seem to have taken a bunch of the things that worked from the previous 2 and gotten rid of them for no fucking reason. Felt the same way. It's kind of like I've been playing Unbound for the, I don't know, 30 minutes that I count at a time or whatever before the driver crashed, before the goddamn DirectX error. Ooh. Oh, he messed me up. And there are some, I listen to interviews and all the devs talk about is how excited they were about the cop system. And it's so fucking flawed. There's not been a good cop system in those games since Carbon. And they've implemented it in a really shit way. Basically, every race results in a cop chase and cops being in it. And you can see them spawn in just conveniently in the same spot. And then on top of that, it's impossible to lose them during the fucking race, right? And then, when you finish the race, rather than just like spawning you where you would be run-off-wise, like they did in the previous 3 titles, they fucking warp you to like another spot, back a bit, and then put a cop right next to you and say resuming cop chase. It's fucking egregious. It's like, then you force me to do it. It's like I can, and then combine that with rubber banding of fucking, my god, it makes me really miss the old games. Not just because Underground 2 was good, or Carbon was good, or Most Wanted was good, but because they fucking understood what they were doing. Sure, in Most Wanted, the cop system, reintroducing the cop system in that was, was like a gamble, and a gamble that paid off because it was great.
Get soldier up.
But they just understood. I mean, like that bit is what I'm saying was like something they weren't necessarily sure about. But for fuck's sake, fucking saving that goddamn bot. Right. Not only did they know what was going on there, also I should remind myself we're up a difficulty here. The damage is far bigger. They like understood who their target audience was and what they were doing, and I'm sick of like, I get that they want to make a game for a wider audience, but I'm 100%. Oh, I need to change that weapon now. For fuck's sake, of course these dickheads can get in my way. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is everything always just like, it's like don't get anything done, because we're always just gonna fuck you every time we get close to getting something done.
That's something you can't train.
Did I even kill him? No, someone else killed him. Whatever, as long as he's dead. So anyway, they get excited about the fucking they get excited about another one. They get excited about like things like the cop system, and you're like, okay, I respect it. I respect you getting excited about the cop system. That makes sense to me. But like, don't force it down my fucking throat. And then I'm also annoyed with people. You know, like I get that they want to bring a wider audience into it, but like you haven't. I've been a diehard Need for Speed fan who's played pretty much every game since. First time I played was Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, which came out in the 90s on PC, which is the first one with cops in it, right? It's very different to what you would consider like the more recent ones, but you know, still.
Of utility to you.
It's very different to every other game of cop in it, basically. Maybe Hot Pursuit 2 might be in the ballpark. But so, I've been in it for a long time, and no, they've never been able to hit a formula like they did with Underground and the Carbon series, the Underground series, Underground through to Carbon. It's just like they hit magic, and they delivered on the things people wanted, even if they didn't know it at the time. Like, I remember Most Wanted, they got rid of the drift gameplay type. And it was like, why the fuck would you get rid of drifting? Why would you have drag racing and not drifting? Drifting is like everyone's favorite race type, for the most part. It's the most fun one. It's like the one that makes you most feel like you're a street racer. Is drifting, you know? And then they brought it back in Carbon, but they brought it back badly. And you're like, why? Underground 2 had perfect drifting. Just do that. Yeah, like, they make these changes. And I 100% feel the same way about the cops. It's like, I'm sick of the cops being the focal point of the game. I didn't like Heat that much. It was alright. It felt like it wanted to be Forza, and I didn't enjoy that. Whereas the 2015 one felt like it was trying to be at least a spiritual successor to Underground 2, and I fucking loved it. It was hokey and cheesy and featured things that people would suggest are like, hokey and cheesy, and I fucking liked it. It had great customization, which has been reused throughout the series. Like that didn't come in Heat. That came in. God damn it! Didn't come in Heat. It came in that. And Heats is just like, it's just that. There's a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people played the 2015 one, and I think that's why people talk about Heat so much. Well, like, Heat was great. It had this. It had that. And it's like, yeah, well, that shit was in Underground in the 2015 one. And then it came out before Forza Horizon 3, so there's a lot of stuff that's in Horizon 3 that's already in that game that I remember people would be like, look at this thing Forza does, and I'm like, well, Need for Speed's got that. Roll down. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, we got one dude still alive. No? Yes. Woo. He doesn't take care of that thing, he's fucked. Shoot it. Shoot it. Yeah. those dudes are fucking. They track. They lock on, dude. You really got to be good at dodging them, otherwise you're fucked.
Every bullet a prayer of vengeance.
Damn it. Oh well. All right, we'll move on to Zealot now. Yeah, I'm really frustrated by the cops in that game because you are forced into it and it doesn't reward you for driving well in the race and building a car and tuning it. It punishes you because it just says, well, it doesn't matter how hard you fucking worked or how clever you raced or how lucky you got. We're stealing that away from you and we're forcing you to fucking race these cops. And it's just a bad design choice. I don't have a problem with the cops. They were a great part of Carbon and a great part of Most Wanted, and they were good. I didn't mind them. And I didn't mind the Morohoshi or Misohoshi, Morohoshi, side quest series of like getting heat and whatever in the 2015 one. I thought that was good. I didn't like. I don't like the way it's implemented. Sup, Max Drake? What's happening, brother? It is indeed the day we never thought we'd see. By the Emperor's light, he has guided us to darktide. Let's change operatives. It's not just the Warhammer game; it's a great Warhammer game. You know, despite any criticisms I have of it, it's good. It's really good. I mean, it had to be. It's fucking for dead for 40K. So in this game, no. I mean, not that I've encountered yet. Yeah. Well, on the plus side, Space Marine 2 just released a gameplay trailer, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, let's see. What do I got? Contracts wise. No Xenos in this one. I mean, I guess if you count Chaos, I suppose. I guess technically they're alien demons. Aliens, demons. I don't know how we define the difference there in those. I suppose that's a good philosophical question. Is the warp is... I mean, the warp is kind of like the ethereal plane, the immaterium. So do we consider, are demons technically, you know, not cat corrupted people, not possessed people or chaos space marines, but demons, are they technically aliens in this world? Like the chaos gods in a typical sense, like the Judeo-Christian sense, or are they like pan-dimensional beings like the mice from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? They're just like semi-omnipotent, pan-dimensional creatures of great power.
You're heading into the torrent. Rannick's identified a target that wants eliminating. The target's holed up in an enforcer's station, using it as a fortress
Forts,
or something.
Max Drake?
You'll have quite a walk to get there, but good news, everyone will be shooting at you.
Oh, dude. Oh, I missed you, my precious Viscerator. I missed you so much. Oh, yeah, and I rev you up, but I go faster. Ooh. And you, my precious Bolter. Ooh.
Tracks this one! Suppressing fire!
Oh, there's a sniper somewhere. Someone kill it. All of the chaos, brother. All of the chaos.
Don't waste ammo! Wait for a clean shot! Hell shot inbound!
Dude, I can't help you, brah. You're trapped over there on your own. I hope you can kill him. What's your preferred flavor of chaos, Max Drake? You know, whether it be a color, by choice of color or effect or theme.
Seems you worth something after all, priest.
Man, this weapon is so nice, man.
Not too bad. Now get the ascender moving so we
Woo.
can get this done.
Oh.
Coming for you. Send them down.
No need for fancy shots.
Ooh. Oh, damn. God, he snuck up on me. We're playing about sound, I suppose. Yeah, dude, you know it is. It is 100% a bolter. Oh, my precious. My baby.
You want this, yeah? Come get
Yeah.
it!
Oh, look at it. Look at it in all its glory. Oh, explosive rounds. Woo. How dare you interrupt me in my bolter time? Filthy heretics. No, where was I? Oh, yes. Oh, Agatha. The beautiful darling. Explosions everywhere. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, that's someone else. No way. Dude, the bolt guns in this is sick. Absolutely rad. Woo! Let's go.
I used to live in a block just like this. I'm never
I
going
need
back.
some of that. Come on, guys, let's go.
Engagement protocol, Kappa 2.
Where did he come from? Oh! Found me. They always find me.
Music. Good shot.
I wonder if I wonder what they're gonna add. Yes. Ancient technology. You gotta wonder about the sadistic bastard that invented the bolt gun. I mean, it's a pretty I guess he's not sadistic at all. He's probably merciful because you get hit by one of them. I would say it's relatively accurate. It's burst fire in its standard fire mode instead of semi-auto, but I would say the one that's felt the most accurate in any game overall is probably the one in Space Marine because it was semi-auto, it just kind of fit, but it definitely feels like it has the impact a bolter should have. It feels maybe a little too concussive, if that makes sense. Like there's a little bit too much AoE to it. But yes, I would say it's pretty accurate for the most part. I don't know lore-wise exactly how many bolts are supposed to be in a clip. I'm going to assume it's 15. Just based on this. I would imagine it's probably actually more than 15. Although I don't know if memory serves me correctly, it's not the kind of thing a normal person can wield typically. Like Sisters of Battle wield them, but they wear a form of power armor. So, you know, I'm not sure how accurate that is. I feel like the recoil from one of these would tear your arms out of their sockets. Yeah, definitely got the explosive rounds. Like, we'll even just... Look at that. I mean, it looks right. It packs a punch. Yeah, right? Like, I'm just like... I mean, it's... I guess she's a zealot, so I guess she is a Sister of Battle, but she's not wearing any power armor, which Sisters of Battle do. So, like, you know, like Canoness and shit wield. I haven't got a bolt pistol yet, so... But, like, also bolters are, like, held by Space Marines, which are, like, you know, 10-foot tall or 8-foot tall behemoths. They weigh, like, you know, nearly 400 pounds. So, I don't know how a Sister of Battle wields it either. Are they genetically engineered? Ooh. I don't think they are, right? Are they just, like, really devout women? I guess you could say that they're praying to the Emperor gives them the miracles. Their faith gives them miracles, like Celestine and shit. So then maybe they pray and they get superhuman strength out of it. Be my guess. I mean, you got to get something for dropping a temple on your, you know, a cathedral on your enemies. I mean, I'd want to hope the faction that air bombs churches do. Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, but they can still be genetically engineered. Can't, you know what I mean? Like, obviously they don't have a Primarch's gene seed, but they might, you know, they might be in the same way that, like, an Ogre is initially engineered, isn't it? Isn't that, like, they call it a mutant, but isn't it, like, a man-made mutation? I might be wrong about that. It's been a while. That's a bit of the lore that I'm not necessarily particularly familiar with. Ooh. Yeah, but, I mean, Belisarius Crawl, or whatever his name is, could be fucking in there messing with them. Yeah, pure, right. So that's what we're calling it now. Sisters of Battle are awesome. I gotta say. I always thought they were super cool, right from 2nd edition. They're, like, sick. They're some of my... Like, their artwork, too, is some of the best, I think, especially their old artwork. Like, just look at the cover for the 2nd edition codex. It's so awesome. Always made me fascinated with them. There's some early Sisters of Battle, too, like really early Rogue Trader stuff where I'm pretty sure it's just straight-up female Space Marines. Like Necromunda, Rogue Trader crossover era, you know, Saturnight power armor, that kind of thing. Like when they were still working out the sculpts and stuff. I think that's sort of like the precursor. I guess we would call it the precursor to Sisters. But yeah, they're sick. You know what would be cool? So there's obviously two things that, like, you know, they have the two non-existent. Did you really just know? Yeah, dude. It's not just a chain blade. It's a fucking eviscerator, dude. Two-handed chainsawed goodness, which I think is funny because this is a human eviscerator, which means it's probably the size of a Space Marine's chainsword. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Maybe I should do this. The cats are fun. Man. Oh, no. Yeah, I have no idea, dude. Air praying to the Emperor. Give me strength to hold Biden weapons or whatever. Fucking bolt gun rips, dude. It rips harder than party hell, dude. Epic later D, man. Ain't got nothing on this. Full send bolter. Party hell on a set of stairs. God, get in there. Oh. No, I won't call it chainsword. That. Oh, let's throw a line on my trusty chainsaw. Yeah, dude, and it looks sick too. Do you know what else is the demon of Nurgle is sick too. Like they have a Golgor inspired. Oh, sorry, it's an ogre. It's a Nurgle demon ogre, but it has like a Golgor demon prince type vibe feel to it. It's sick. Damn, that was not good. Health pretty desperately. Yes, the mighty humble Alaska. I say mighty because of a normal person's hit with this. It's pretty vicious affair.
As I required.
You snuck up on me. I do laugh though at this, like, so they have chainswords and but dude, there's lasguns, there's multiple kinds of lasguns, there's plasma rifles, which I haven't got one of yet. Obviously there's bolt guns, grenade launchers, whippers. I mean, they've nailed most of them. Oh, most of the things humans could wield. Yeah, they had to throw a bolter in. Humans can't really wield them, but they had to throw one in. You know? Damn it. Oh, I didn't even get there and turn around and kick back. He definitely has the same, looks like he has the exact same animation as the Chaos Warriors in Vermintide. Which, by the way, the lane that didn't have fur coats on the back. Not really Chaos Warriors. And I got you, Lucia. I got you, dude. Fuck's sake. Of course, there's one left and I drop my reload. Captain person.
I'll be sure to tell him what you did here.
Medipack down!
Yeah, man, there's everything. There's everything you could want except for like a decent chaos factor. They went with the green one again. Yeah, he was using a plasma pistol. Although it looked pretty big. It looked like a proper plasma pistol, not like one of these ones that are scaled down for fucking, you know, other stuff. Yeah, it's alright. Have you played Vermintide 1 or Vermintide 2? Okay, well, as an avid player of those two games, I would say that, to answer anyone's question, I would say, have you played the Mage in that? I would say that the Psyker is probably, has the potential to have what I would consider the most versatility.
How may I assist?
A few times? Nobody plays that tabletop a few times. Oh, I suppose if you're just into collecting. I was just going to say that, like, obviously these games are sort of, this is kind of like a 40k version of Vermintide 1 and 2, and the Psyker plays, which I'll play now. I'll show you. The Psyker plays very much like the Bright Mage from Vermintide 2. It's pretty cool. The staff's got different powers. It's action ability is not that interesting. It's not fleshed out to the same level that Vermintide 2 was in terms of that, like having different classes and whatever. It's much more like the first game, but yes, Warhammer units are extremely expensive, and they've only gone up in price since I remember. You used to be able to buy, when I was a teenager, you could buy. They did starter sets for around 100. I want to say it was around $100. Then did the Battle Force set for 200 or 150, maybe something like that. And the Battle Force had heaps in it. Like, it was really. What if I got weapon wise? Oh yes. Right, let's play one as the Psyker. The Battle Force was had everything you needed. Like, it really got you started. Whereas now, do they do the Battle Force anymore? I think they just did a starter set, right? But yes, it was always too expensive for me to enter as a hobby. I got by on buying White Dwarf and reading White Dwarf and buying codexes. Something which I haven't read White Dwarf in a long time, but something I reminisce about very fondly. Yes, dude. Yeah, dude. Man of the people right there. This man who knows where it's at. Tyranids. Ace. That's my favorite race or faction. And the first codex I ever bought was the second edition Tyranids codex, and it's still my favorite. Multicolored bug people and the Screamer Killer Carnifex, which is the best Carnifex, full stop. Big bulbous goo-like head on him, and the like Stay Puft looking motherfucker with the big siphoning talons. Sick. Yeah. Do you have a favorite Hive fleet? I mean, mine is default Behemoth, but I just, that's just because they're second edition. Like I like the second edition color scheme for Behemoth. Like it's all like multicolors, like kind of like actual alien kind of bug creatures, as opposed to the kind of more
Look,
yeah,
associates.
dude.
Here's some
Yeah,
atonement
as opposed to the
sunlight
more
to clear your
linear,
mood.
like not linear, but like cohesive look of third gen onwards, where they sort of start to
Desolate
watch
zone,
the same,
likely to be
look the
hostile.
same. Which I think is interesting. The reason for that is because obviously they have the heavily HR Geiger influenced creatures like the Homagons just look straight up like aliens,
Return fire.
like xenomorphs in second edition. Yeah, more detail, but it's a cohesive look. Like, I guess the lore explanation of it would be that Behemoth is like from outside the human galaxy, right? So they have this kind of really diverse set of creatures, right? Like that are all just based off the alien species they've encountered, and they just kind of descend on a planet and overwhelm it and whatever, and then they encounter humanity, and it forces them to purpose-built units, right? And so they become a lot more organized in terms of their design and cohesive. So they're like, all right, we're fighting one enemy that's all over this galaxy, so like we need this kind of mobility and we need this kind of, like, this is the most effective form, as opposed to prior to encountering that. Yeah, dude. This is the
This looks right.
force trauma. It's the trauma force staff, I think it's called. There's each one you get different staffs and they have different attacks basically. So they all sort of shoot a bolt like that of like warp energy, and then they have some sort of secondary, and then you have like a single target damage. If you hit him, it'll take 2 hits to kill him. Over this, blow his head up. But yeah, so like then they make it sort of uniform design, right? And each hive fleet looks, you could consider each generation of Tyranids as far as the tabletop game is concerned. The difference in appearance is related to the different evolution that they go through as a hive fleet. So if you think Hive Fleet Kraken is synonymous with Hive Fleet Kraken is synonymous with 3rd edition, which is kind of like the sort of classic old One-Eye Red Terror era. And then Hive Fleet Leviathan is synonymous with 3rd edition 4th edition which is like one looking thing. And so like I guess the loose, not canonical explanation, but yeah. Oh yeah, they're all gonna get devoured. They will get devoured. I hope they get devoured. That's how I want it to end.
Attend! A healing station!
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know that there's we don't know that there's fleet feeds. We should be fair. We don't know what's outside the Milky Way. It's just a theory that it is all devoured by Tyranids. Or there's also, isn't there a theory that the Tyranids are actually fleeing from something? Oh, you're gonna do this.
I like your thinking!
Yeah, that they're fleeing from something is a horrific thought, isn't it? I mean, as a Tyranids fan, I'm happy because it means they're trying to save themselves. You know, Bug Galaxy is a good galaxy.
Demon host. Friggin' hell.
Ooh, that's a demon host. We stay away from that.
It's
Oh, does that mean it woke it up? I hope it wouldn't mean it woke it up.
the morning star. Creepy little carcass.
I find them inspiring.
Just move away from it. I hope it was just one.
Why shouldn't the Imperium use our bodies when we no longer have need of them?
Yeah, sweet when you don't have to fight them. They are
Justice
fucking
for
rough.
the tormented.
They're like way worse than the witch ever was. So it's going back to sleep, which is nice. is so. What color scheme do you use for your Tyranids?
Here's the cargo elevator. Proceed, associates.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be Space Marine 2 is gonna be so awesome. We're finally getting a game where we get to cut through Tyranids that isn't shit. Yeah, dude, I watched it earlier today. I'm so pumped. It's awesome. Space Marine 1 was such a good game. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Look at the state of this place. One too many earthquakes, I reckon.
That's so satisfying.
Yes, flow through me.
Oh, it's this one. That is a cool
They're
looking set
quietly
piece.
dependable.
I didn't even realize what mission we were doing until just then.
Now, let's see about getting that cipher right then.
They won't. I don't think. Well, I think Tyranids always get done dirty nowadays. Since Gen 3, right? That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, the reason they got a cohesive appearance was because. And the reason they look like Zerg is because originally StarCraft was meant to be a 40k game. So it was like the proto designs of the Tyranid third generation, and they remade it so that it wasn't exactly the same. But they've sort of always done them dirty because they use them as a generic, like, kind of like a generic mindless horde. It's like the same reason they always choose Nurgle in games. Because then they just can have like zombies and shit, which I thought was a really weak choice in this one. It would have been nice to have seen Zetch or Khorne would be the best choice if you ask me. But it would have been nice to see something that wasn't Nurgle, of course, Typhus and Mortarion are. But I reckon, depending on disservice, I mean, like, they're going to be a generic bug enemy which you kill a shitload of, and eventually you'll fight a Swarm Lord. I'm sure. But, like, that's what's going to, you know, and eventually you have to kill a Swarm Lord or something.
Karkin interrogating us with stop.
I know, right? They're not a mindless horde, but that's how they kind of treat them. Just like in general, that's how people treat them. You know, despite the fact that they're like this crazy, they're like more like Legion from Gamera vs. Legion. That's what they are. It's like, you know, like a smart. It's literally like if water had a brain. Is the way I would describe it personally. Like if I was to describe someone, it's like if you were hit by a wave, like a really big wave in the ocean, and that wave was intelligent and trying to search. It's like what a tyranny horde is like. Do you know what I'd like to see some more stuff on? I'd like to see some more stuff on, just in general, in the tabletop game and the lore, on Vulcan Hatan and his tracking of the 9 relics of Vulcan. And I'd like to see more on Corvus Corax hunting War Guy in the Warp. And I would like more towers to be killed by the Tyranids. Yes. Yeah, he's at 5, and he's awesome, and he has the coolest one, which is the spear. Well, that's one of my favorite things, is that he fought off Trays in the Infinite. It's like, I love when they give characters possible but crazy feats. You know, because Trazen is like this, you know, he's like a He's like a Deus Ex Machina almost. He's like, you know, he's just like, he's kind of like warps in all the time, and it's kind of funny and awesome, whatever. And it was nice that they gave, because like the example of when they don't do that, when they give Robot Girly Man. I don't mind Robot Girly Man actually. A lot of people don't like him. I guess. I think what they did with him is great. I think they made him way better.
I heard whisper of it at the Enforcer's Bastion.
I appreciate just them having Primarchs wake up, because like for so long they've been like, oh, no Primarchs or whatever. Which is like, you know, like the only ones that are there are evil ones. And it's usually like fucking Magnus turning up and, you know, getting killed or
be on patrol once again.
Yeah, right? And he's like, they've made a bunch of changes and improved a bunch, and he's like, hey, fuck the Ecclesiarchy and like, fuck
this place doesn't exactly
the machine cult for the most part. You know, he's just like, this is not the world I left behind. And this is not the way the world should be. Like, what the fuck is happening? And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that they found a way to use him that makes sense. Because obviously his ability is like being really organized, essentially. I mean, which makes sense because he's based on, obviously, based on people like Caesar. So his sort of abilities being related to organizing supply lines and basically logistics management 100% makes sense in the context of like, given that pretty much every one of his brother's abilities is like, you know, like, I never die and I'm the best at fighting, and the next one's like, I never die and I'm the best at fighting, and then one's like, I'm really angry and the best at fighting, and you're like, alright, well at least he's got something different.
Continue this way.
And yeah, it's just I think he hates every emperor in a way. Does he? Yeah, I mean, does he hate? Is he? I'm not like. Yeah, I don't know if he's the best leader even. He's like, where I feel like he might be the best leader. Where I feel like he suits best is actually you have a leader, and then that leader gives, you know, orders and says what to do, and it's like, we want to go in this, we want to go that direction, and then Gullyman is the person who gets everybody going that direction in the most efficient way possible. There's sort of, I guess because isn't the Lion supposed to be a really good leader? Wasn't that like his thing? The Lion and Khan and Vulcan are all supposed to be really, really charismatic, good leaders.
This mission tests our
and then Dawn, Perturabo, and Gullyman are really good, like, commanders, is the way I would describe it. They masters of like logistics. They really good way of working out what to do and how to use supply lines and deal with enemy morale, and just like, you know, they're masters of strategy and logistics as opposed to just like, I mean, I guess Gullyman's ability is, or like his strength is being Caesar, so I suppose that's essentially what it is. Kind of like how Khan is just, you know, just Genghis Khan. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm happy with it personally. I'm even happy with like his like, I like that he's a character that doesn't necessarily deny things for the sake of denying them. Like he says, you know, he's not into the Ecclesiarchy. Yeah. You mean the Lion, Dawn, and Perturabo. I mean, that's like, if he had just, if the whole 40k lore is just if the Emperor had not been a dick. Like, everything's wood. The two biggest things, right? So like, I don't know about Erebus and like Lorgar and that whole thing, but obviously with Magnus, if he didn't send Lehman Russ, which I guess maybe he kind of expected this to happen or thought it was going to happen or wanted it to, but the only reason he sent Lehman Russ at all, if he had to recognize Perturabo and let him help or build the Fortress of Terror, yeah, And then, which I guess he chose right, because ultimately choosing Dawn to do it stops the heretics from sacking Terra. So I guess you could make the argument he made the right choice, but did it ultimately lead to the heresy being as successful as it was? And then if he had just fucking either let Angron finish his fucking battle, right, or forcibly remove the butcher's nails, you would have been done with Angron. Like, Angron wouldn't be, you know, the guy's supposed to be an empath and shit. Wouldn't have turned into like the world's angriest person. You know what I mean? Like just a pure rage game. So it is a wonder. I think certain people would have been destined to fall no matter what he did. Like, you know, Horace and Fulgrim. There are people that I feel like would have, regardless of what happened, would have ended up being... would have ended up being, you know, like demons at some point. I suppose so. No, I don't know, because he pushed him away a bit, but... yeah, I guess maybe. He pushed him away, but he also gave him... The difference is that he gave him respect and, like, position, and gave him the things that he thought he would be good at. Right, as opposed to someone like Perturabo, where 100% it was lack of acknowledgement that led to the guy who's probably the most capable in your entire collection of generals. Like, honestly, is probably the most capable across the board, to betray him. And, you know, like, you can say, like, so-and-so is a better fighter or so-and-so is this, but it's like, without Perturabo, the heresy goes nowhere. You know what it did.
Success! Dead Trapper! Fury does not a victim make!
Yeah, no worries, dude. Oh, we're saving him? Well, looks like saving him. Yeah, Perturabo was like, without him there's no heresy, if you ask me. Kind of like how without Salamanders, like, you know, the world would be soulless.
You hit me, veteran!
Your favorite Space Marine faction? And or favorite Chaos faction, or even if your favorite Space Marine faction is a pre-heresy faction.
Grenade out!
I used to hate them. I used to hate the blue guys, and I kind of like them now. They're one of those things they're one of those factions that gets better with context of the world around them. Does that make sense? Like, they suck because they use as the poster children for everything, and that's why people don't like them, and they're Mr. Good at everything. But that's the point, is they're like, and that's why they work. You know, I don't think that they're not my favorite, but I definitely don't hate them the way I used to. It's kind of like people hate the Night Lords because their whole thing is being vampire people, basically. But you know, I actually love the Night Lords. I think the Conrad Kurtz's backstory is awesome. Personally, I think he's great. I think he rules. I think that he's a good character, even. Yeah, I don't know. My favorite Space Marine chapter is probably got to be. I'm a sucker for the salamanders. Always have been. I like the color scheme. I like the theme. I like the fighting style. I like that. I'm a sucker for a tragic martyr story. So like, drop site massacre, Vulcan's commitment to protecting civilians, all that kind of shit. They're heroic. They're heroic in a way that a lot of the other chapters aren't. You know, I like world eaters in all their capacity. I like Angron. I love Khan. I'm not that into Dark Angels, but I like Lionel Johnson. I'm not that into the Raven Guard, but I like Corvus Corax. Yeah, I like most of the Primarchs, actually. Yeah, dude, world eaters rule. They fucking rule. Blood for the Blood God. Khan the Betrayer is awesome. Everything about them is awesome. The best looking factions in the entire of all of Space Marine, both trader and non-trader, pre-heresy, post-heresy, are the Thousand Sons and the World Eaters. They have the coolest look, right? There may be Alpha Legion after that. The most unique look. They have the most identifiable look. Like Khorne Berserkers are just like Thousand Sons. Sorry, not Thousand Sons. World Eaters. Like the helmets, the color scheme, pre-heresy, post-heresy, and Rubik Marines going from red and gold to blue and gold. Yeah, like they're just sick. And Magnus, I think, is an interesting character. Like, I think a lot of people start to dislike things because of the way they're used. Like, Magnus is used a lot as a means. Like, now he fails a lot. In the same way, Abaddon, people hate Abaddon. He's like, all these crusades, he keeps failing at them, right? And it's like, yes, okay, he fails. Lucian's another one. Like, it's just like, now people dislike him because they're always losing him because of this or that. And it's like, they're cool in context to everything around. They started off cool, even if they became lame. Yeah, World Eaters rule. World Eaters are sick. Angron is an awesome character. I get that he's just like a rage monster now, but his journey there to me is interesting. It might be a generic story, but it works. It definitely is created one of the biggest plot holes in terms of like the Emperor's judgment. Like how this guy sees the future and does so much makes such poor decisions all the way along. Yeah, World Eaters are sick. I'm a big fan of the, mostly because of the color scheme, I'm a big fan of the Imperial Fists. I think there's something cool about like the way a bunch of Imperial Fists look painted up in that class of yellow. Yeah, dude. Well, like I said, Tyranids are my favorite race. That a race that got me interested in Warhammer. First Codex I bought was Tyranids. My favorite unit. Like, all the best Space Marine stories involve Tyranids. Like, I'm with you. Tyranids are, since I like the world as a whole, I definitely, and the Space Marines make up such a large portion of it. I can't help but pick favorites and things I do and don't like. Dawn is one of those characters that like just if you take Dawn, he seems bland on the surface, but again, he's kind of like Gulliman in the sense that that's what makes him interesting. Is that Dawn and Gulliman? I mean, I guess Gulliman kind of has the innate organizational ability, but they don't really have any powers beyond being superhuman. And I guess you could say, well, that's a big power in itself. But when you've got people like Vulcan who are immortal and Conrad who can see the future and, you know, all that kind of shit, you're like Magnus, who's like the second most powerful cyber in the universe, like so powerful enough that he could sit on the Iron Throne, you know, as part of the Astra Militarum, or not Astra, what's it called? Why can't I think of it? The throne, the astral fucking waypoint. Yeah, no, well, he's long enough that the Emperor could have left to deal with Horus, is the implication, is the point. Is that he's so powerful that he could have sat there and held Chaos back and been the beacon for long enough for the Emperor to do what he needed. Theoretically, if indeed the Emperor wanted Lemurais to bring him back and not kill him or fight him or whatever. So, you know, like, I'm just saying that you compared Dawn. Did he? No. Oh, the first time, but not the second. That's a while before. Yeah, but he was on there for a while. It was more than a few moments before the first time he sat on it. I don't know. It's been a while. Since I've delved into that bit of it. Either way, my point stands. You know, and then you look at Perturago, who can memorize everything instantly. Right? He learns all information instantly or whatever when he's reading it. He memorizes it. Or knows everything about it, or whatever the fuck that is. So you look at Dawn, who just everything he achieved through hard work and sheer grit. He just was like, I am gonna do this, and then did it. And it seems. So he would seem bland at first because his whole thing is like honor and I will defend this fortress or whatever. And then it's like, well, it's cool because he's surrounded by these completely ridiculous people. You know, Sanguinius is a literal angel. He's like got wings and shit. He's a vampire angel. He's essentially, you know, he's the closest thing to the blood god after Khorne himself in a way. Which I'm surprised they haven't done a thing where he was resurrected unwillingly as a demon prince of Khorne. Like a champion of Khorne, because he's kind of like the ultimate choice, isn't he? Like the amount of blood he spilled technically is ridiculous. Probably second to none. Or the Emperor, if you consider by how long the Emperor was alive. His name means blood, basically. I mean, yeah, they are. They are, indeed. Yeah, they are, but like... but everyone was in the war. Like, isn't that his entire story? Everyone's like, even Horus, they're all like, he's just great. Which, if anything, is less interesting. That's why I'm not that interested as like a character, because he's just like, he's perfect. It's the same thing as like the Ultimate, you know, where like everybody supposedly loves them, you know, and he's this perfect character, and like that's essentially what Sanguinius is in that world. But him being like that creates interesting stories about him on his own is not. But the way people react because of it. But isn't the context of that Horus is like supercharged by all the demon lords, all the chaos gods, and also hasn't Sanguinius been fighting for like however many days or weeks straight on Holy Terror and has killed some unknown number of demons in Chaos Space Marines? He's like single-handedly defending an entire section of the planet. And that's when it becomes cool again, even though it's lame that he's like super perfect. Because the world of 40k is so like large and ridiculous that anything, even the lame stuff, becomes cool again because it's so ridiculous. The only time I mean, it even kind of does with Manius Calgar. And like, there's another one. There's another classic plot armor like he's too strong business. You're right. Horace pushed it in, you know. Wrecked him. So Horace clone. Is Horace clone supposed to be anywhere near as... Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. It's so annoying. You have to prime every weapon before you change to it. Like when you change to it. So there's not going to be any quick shots to fucking snipe someone. It's like reload speed is super important on these things. It's satisfying to watch, but it's not satisfying when you're trying to kill someone. I do like the theory that Cypher is the Lion. Like, that's a cool idea. Since he's kind of acting like the Tracer of the Space Marine. Kind of like teleporting in and teleporting out. So you can do it again. Oh yeah, look at that.
The data interrogator requires your attention.
I'm just gonna keep changing to it and not using it. I've been shot. Cool, you gotta go. Yeah. That was oh, that was rough. Alright. So what do you reckon they're gonna do with the current Orc Tyrannid conflict that's going on between is it going on between Gazkal and High Fleet Leviathan? Like, who do you think's winning that? Is it the is it on one of your home planets? I just remember it's been a hot minute since there's lots of stuff that I've delved into in the past, and it's been a while. But whichever one I'm talking to is talking about is a giant battle for a planet currently between the Orcs and the Tyranids, and it's like the largest war that's ever been seen. Yeah, and it's like one planet, and it's just like a constant never-ending feedback loop, negative feedback loop of like orcs spawning at like some crazy rate and getting more powerful and evolving because they're fighting Tyranids constantly, and then Tyranids are absorbing this never-ending amount of biomass, and it very much feels like kind of like the Vermintide, like the end of times, like a build up, like they're just putting that in there now, so that when they decide to, they can just be like, and they sweep across the galaxy and destroy everything. Can a warg implode on itself if it gets too big? Can it like essentially just like no longer be able to sustain itself? Isn't that what happened? That's what happened on Orca Mortar, isn't it?
I am.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you reckon they're going to choose to do? Do you reckon they're going to go with,
Rods are in
you know,
position. Proceed
orcs or
to the
Tyranids?
next phase.
I love Tyranids, but I feel like it'd be more interesting if they went with orcs.
There's no
Just
turning
because
back
if they
from
go
this.
with orcs, there's a chance the galaxy survives. You know, just because orcs are like, well, you can use the phrase intelligent, but they're like, they're
Anyone
not
know of the
they're not
secret-
single-minded in the same way that Tyranids are. Like they like to fight, they don't want to consume. So like, fighting includes fighting themselves. So not like 100% unified necessarily, even when they are.
A disturbance in the
I mean,
material.
you're right. Like, but that's what I mean. So they're just kind of, I guess, it's very smart writing since they're just putting it there in case they want to do something with it. And I'm sure they could come up with some Deus Ex Machina that ended if they wanted to get rid of it. Drop a fucking got a demon. Where's the demon host? Oh, right there. Fuck. Oh, I'm dead, I reckon.
Reaching into the war.
Requesting Medicaid.
Oh, damn it.
Yes, yes, flow through me.
Yes, indeed, shit hits the fan at warp speed. Go on, Dr. Good Sensation. Bring home the bacon. Yeah, like that's you know what I mean. Like if they choose orcs, then you have like this incredibly strong fighting force, sure, but it's not something that can't be fractured or splintered or could implode on itself theoretically or could be outsmarted. Whereas if it is the Tyranids, it's like you can't write yourself out of that
This
corner.
task calls for training and discipline.
I don't think. I think if it's the
Respectfully, I
Tyranids,
believe
you're
our
just like
party lacks
they at
both.
that point, like theoretically, the way they've described this conflict, for them to leave that planet would be to be capable of consuming the world. You know, given that every other race isn't large enough or united enough, like.
Atoman manufacture is outstanding.
You know, not to mention that, I mean, the only hope would be that the Tyranids are...
It is imperative
Yeah, exactly.
that
Exactly. They'd be
manufacturing
so large, they would
17
probably just
versus
consume
16
themselves as far as
All
conflict
other
is
data
concerned.
restricted.
Whereas...
Praise be to the God
And they're not going to
Emperor.
necessarily
We
get
have a
better at
duty to
fighting humans
perform.
if they're fighting themselves. Whereas the Tyranids, you could say, I guess you could make the argument that they've been fighting, that fleet has been fighting orcs for so long that they're not really good at fighting anything else. They're completely evolved and they would have to go down the evolution process to fight effectively against humans.
Cryonic rods to the coolant ducts.
Faith cannot move this burden alone.
Cryonic rod acquired. Into position.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting... Tyranids are like the coolest, lamest thing. And the reason they're like the coolest, lamest thing is because it's so... You have to be really careful not to just like, when riding them or like, whatever, you have to be really careful not to just make them a generic, mindless alien threat. Yeah, exactly, right? Like they'd be just like this perfect killing machine. You know? There's just such a huge amount of biomass. Let alone all of the skills on tactics they get like the new information they learn from like, 1,000 years of fighting this war or whatever it's going to end up being. Just like constantly having to fight a foe that's as indomitable as they are. Because like that's the other thing too, is that they fought and lost because of tactics or technology, but when was the last time they fought an enemy that was as relentless and as consistent as they are? You know, like orcs will fight non-stop, and they breed at this insane rate, and it's essentially a horde versus a horde. You know, sure, one horde is... I mean, I wouldn't even say they're any more technologically advanced or anything like that. They're just like... But, you know, it's like horde versus horde, so... It's interesting. It has some interesting ramifications as far as the world at large is concerned. Oh yeah, yes. Yes indeed, the weebs. Who knows? They obviously have probably a technological advantage over a lot of things. Aren't they? Didn't they wake up? Didn't they, aren't they like super successful? Hang on a minute. What am I? Disregard what I was just saying. But yes, maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's an element of like, maybe just covering their bases just in case they need to write themselves out of a corner or something like that. I mean, it's an interesting concept of sort of a necrophage or a genophage or a virus or just in general any kind of biological weapon that works against them that is more than just like a mustard gas. Yeah, did they? So is that a thing? I haven't actually looked into that yet. So they made a chaos god for themselves? Intentionally or unintentionally?
Time to leave. Most gratifying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they pulled a, an elder, if you will. How'd they do that? Yeah, of course, well, generally they do. I mean, I would probably too if I accidentally created a chaos god. I mean, was it like an elder scenario where they did that and then like enslaved all of their people? Anything. The god of the greater good, is that actually what it... Oh my god, that sounds like some horrific, like... That sounds like the kind of shit that'll pop up in Germany in 1938. It sounds horrific. They're already kind of fascist in their belief structure anyway. God of the greater good. Well, I guess, I mean, that's so we're up to 6 gods now. And then, I guess, the old ones in the Catan. Was that right? 6, right? Because the Emperor's essentially a god. And the Legion of the Damned. Yeah, that's right. Goddamn alright. Because, yeah, the Emperor's essentially a god at this point. And his demons, he's like, his demon prince is Corvus Corex, more or less. I mean, I know that's not a confirmed, that's a theory, but it's more or less what seems to have happened. As you can say, he was transformed by the warp, but it's almost like he's the deliverer of the Emperor. And then obviously there's the Legion of the Damned and the Saints, which like in many ways represent champions and demons.
I'll be interested to see how you
So,
get on.
or angels, whatever you want to fucking call them. Yeah, Legion of the Damned is sick.
How may I serve?
Yeah, it's so cool. Ooh, finally. Oh my god, I think I might have to buy this bad boy. Finally, a decent Thunderhammer. The damage is down, but definitely gonna have to try this bad boy out. Yeah, dude. Legion of Damned is sick. Yeah, I love reading old Rogue Trader stuff and White Dwarf stuff and looking at the old paint schemes that weren't necessarily like what we would consider a canon paint scheme. You know, I'm not talking just about like pre-heresy or pre whatever color schemes for, like, you know, like salamanders being a different color or dark angels being a different color. But like more things like Legion of the Damned and like I love, like, a good example is I remember when we're talking about third edition Tyranids High Fleet Yormagonda, and if you've never seen, if anyone out there has never seen the OG High Fleet Yormagonda paint job, though it was featured in yeah, dude, mine too. Salamanders rule. They're fucking sick. But yeah, the Yormagonda chapter that was featured in White Dwarf that a guy had painted when third edition was released, and it's just like the coolest thing I've ever seen. When until death ends, you gain health based on damage you dealt during until death. Wait, what's until death? Which one's until death? Will kill you, gain okay. That's alright. You no longer get stunned by enemy melee attacks when you take damage, gain 20% movement speed for 2 seconds. That is so good. I mean, that's actually alright too, but I'm going to go with this one. Movement speed. And no stun. That's heaps good. Let's just check it allowed me to select it. Why didn't it not? Okay, let's go like that. And then it's a weird little thing where it makes you select them like that for some reason. Makes you... Is that like... Is there a reason it's not letting me select... Oh, there we go. Let's have a look at them again. 5 meters of enemies. I mean, that could be good. 50% extra toughness. I think just a generic replenish might be useful. More useful. Alright. Alright, so I got myself a Thunder Hammer, finally, which is nice. I'm looking forward to using it. The mobility is going to be way down, I reckon. How does a normal... We were talking about wielding, like, eviscerators, you know, and stuff. How does a human wield a Thunder Hammer? I guess they just make smaller ones, is my guess. Do I have any appearances for it? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. And then can I also put a trinket on that one? Yeah, I can. Yeah, now we're talking. Did I change the appearance? Wait, can I not do a trinket and that? Yeah, there we go. You have to confirm them, but okay. Okay, that means alright. Fine. Wait, did it not change it? Yeah, okay, it did, but it hasn't yet. It's interesting. Maybe I have to leave. Yeah, there we go. What about bolters? Do I have a bolter? Different look for the bolter? No, lame. Alright. Alright, Max Drake, my friend. I'm going to call it a night here. Peace out. Thanks for chatting. And Yes, that one fucking hive ship, escaped hive ship. Is that the one you're talking about? The craft world, they like was systematically exterminating the world, and one got away and then destroyed a whole craft world, and so they had to come back later, and they made allied with someone to do it. They allied with a race to clear the planet afterwards. Yeah, it was wild. Is that the one? Is that the one from Attack of the Tyranids? Like that? Is that the story relating to that box? I'm assuming you mean Zoanthrope. Or Malanthrope or something, or Maledictor or something. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I'm assuming it was a Zoanthrope or something like that. Or a Malanthrope or a Maledictor. Some shit. I mean, they're more or less a Mind Flayer or like an Illithid, but... Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, is that like... Was that the same? That's the same... It reminds me of the... hearing stories like that always make me think of the old Attack of the Elder box set. Attack of the Tyranids box set, sorry. From like from pre like Tyranids being like a proper race. Came with like the 3 warriors and some, I think some Hormagaunts. Maybe it was some Tormagaunts, I don't remember. Alright, dude. Yeah, I gotta go. Peace out. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you around in the future.